How do folks? Welcome to the channel. It is day 20 of the Pile of Shame challenge, that big push towards the end of the year where I'm trying to get as much done as I possibly can. Quick reminder, I am hoping to get to 500 subs by the end of the year, so if you're here for the first time, please do consider hitting that little button down below. It would be really appreciated, and there's going to be a load more content before the end of the year. There's still more stuff to be done for the Pile of Shame, obviously, and some of the stuff that you are going to be seeing behind the scenes of, and have seen behind the scenes of in previous videos, they're going to be coming out as long form videos between Christmas and New Year, maybe as early next year, just when I get a chance to get them edited. So what do I have tonight? Well, it is finishing off the Blood Pact. That is the #1 priority. Then that will be that squad out of the way, and hopefully I'll make a really big start on their Chimera troop transport, possibly get that done. I've still got to dig out the fine liners so I can get the plaza done. I want that out of the way, and then coming into the weekend there's that big repair project that I've been talking about. Anyway, see you in a couple of minutes. Back to Blood Pact. Painting time! Woohoo! Now, before I get on with the Blood Pact, I am going to do a wee bit more on these Death Cult assassins. And what I want to do is get some purple ink into a mixing pot, and then just add a wee bit of black to that to darken it down. And I'm going to use this to knock back the highlights of grey that I put on when I was dry brushing them. And by putting the wash on now, it means that they've got the chance to have a good overnight dry, and I can maybe do something with them tomorrow. Now onto the Blood Pact themselves. And I have loaded my brush up with Blood Angels Red. Ha! That's a big brush, you say? Well, that's because I'm cheating. There are large areas like the skirt where I can get away with a brush that size. There are some excess bristles. I am going to need to trim them down, but as you can see, I can cover a far bigger area in one shot, and that saves time, certainly when you're doing a number of troops. I'll take it as close as I can, but now I swap to a smaller brush just for that finer work, getting it up to the joints. And where it's really fine work, then I will swap to an even smaller brush. So you get the general idea of what is going on. I will crack on and get this lad all painted up, and his compatriots. So that's it reddened up, and final coat of paint. This isn't a full flesh wash. I've probably watered it down, say half and half, and the whole model gets a wash in that, and then that will get left overnight to dry, and I'll do the basing tomorrow. Right, everything has a wash coat. It needs a good dry, so let us move those out of the way and we'll talk about this Chimera. Alright, so it's at the undercoat stage. I have left the turret separate, and I've also left the gun separate. It does fit in there quite snugly, but if I want to change the weapon for something else in the future, then, you know, quite easily detachable. I'll pop that off for just a second, and I have actually undercoated it in two different colours. From the bottom, sort of facing upwards as the model sits, I've done a black, and from the top down I've done a grey. So basically what that means is that there is sort of like a greater depth of shadows on the underside of the vehicle, and it's a trick that I've learned from other sort of large scale modelers on YouTube. Now I am going to use painting techniques on this in the same way that I did the Stomper. If you haven't seen that video, there's a link for it up top, and I'll pop a link to the video in the description. It's well worth a watch if you're into 40k stuff. I'm really proud of it. It was all scratch built, but I didn't go too much into the painting. I just sort of showed a montage of the various stages, and I can go into it a little bit more detail on this because it's far smaller size. The first thing I'm going to be doing is a dry brush of silver around the tracks and a little bit of grey, a little bit of tan, just to get a bit of dust in there. And then we will concentrate on the top. So I'll go and get those dry brush things done and we'll see what the next stage is. All right, just while the dry brush on the hull is busy sort of drying, I'll show you the main painting technique on this. And it's a stipple, so all I've got is a little torn off raggy bit of foam and I'm holding it in a pair of tweezers and popping it onto the model like that. Now, the whole idea behind this painting technique is essentially that it is going to be uneven, it is going to be a sort of ill-maintained vehicle. An awful lot of the sort of, I guess, really cheap kind of weathering techniques that you're going to be seeing, rather than using sort of like the gaming powders and things like that, will come into play. Like I say, it is what I did for the Stomper, and I am going to be doing it on this vehicle as well, because with it being Traitor Guard, you don't expect it to be in the same kind of pristine condition that regular Guard troops would keep their stuff. So I will get on with that and do essentially the whole model, and then we will come back to the next stage, which quite possibly could be tomorrow. Right, that is all the main colour stippling done on that Chimera. And just with that technique, I'll be perfectly honest, it almost looks battlefield ready, because it hasn't sort of caught all of the miniature. It's already kind of looking worn and weathered, and from 6 foot across the table, would you actually tell that it wasn't completed? But it isn't completed, and there is more work to be done on that, but that is for another day. The Blood Pact have had a chance to dry, so it is just a couple of dots of watered down PVA on the base, and this is just straight sawdust, just to give a couple of clumps of dead foliage. And as a comparison, that is one of the originals, that is one of the new ones. Job done. I'll finish these other 7, and that is 8 miniatures off to the pile of success. Gotta have a glamour shot. And here they are taking their rightful place on the pile of success. And that is day 20 done and dusted. Running total so far, that's 46 pieces that are on the pile of success. A rate of over 2 a day, which isn't bad. Yeah, I'd hoped for more. But I'm into the final stretch now, and I am sprinting towards the finish line. Plus, of course, you've got to remember that there's all of those terrain pieces that are very close to being done. So, yeah, the numbers are going to be clocking up. I am not 100% certain what tomorrow's video is going to bring. I do have a D&D game, last one of the year. Not sure, as I've said before, what kind of footage I will get from that. It may just be a nerd recap at the end of it, if I get a video out at all. I am not 100% certain. I know that the first part is going to be a big tidy up of the games room so that people can actually get in here, because it looks like a bomb has hit it. Just with all of the projects that I've been doing, there is stuff strewn all over the place. So yeah, that's on me. But we will bring this video to a close. I hope you are enjoying this series. If you've made it this far and have yet to subscribe, please, if you could do the honours. Hit it with a like, get notifications. There's more coming. There are those long form videos that are going to be coming after Christmas, but I shall leave you good folk to your own devices. Toodle pip for now.